beef producers in Zimbabwe have raised concern over stagnant cattle prices, which they claim have remained unchanged for the past decade. Despite rising input costs and growing consumer demand, the market remains unresponsive. The issue came to the fore at the Zimbabwe Beef Industry Field today, held in Esgodini, Matabeleland South.
Beef prices in Zimbabwe have remained largely stagnant for over a decade, and for farmers like George Chiunda, chairperson of the Zimbabwe Beef Producers Society, the situation is now critical. He says urgent intervention is needed to keep the beef production industry sustainable and viable.
Last year we had a very bad drought, probably the worst drought in maybe 20 years. So those issues are critical. Also, some of the problems we're having with beef farmers is the prices. The price of beef hasn't moved for, I'd say, probably more than 10 years now. It has really not moved, but the cost of feed and the cost of maintaining these animals.
Chiunda says while prices have stayed the same for a decade, input costs like feed, vet services and fuel have soared, making production unsustainable. Speaking at a field day in Esgodini, Umzingwane, Matabeleland South, producers urged pricing reforms to reflect quality and investment.
So we try our best to produce as much as we can for our livestock on our farm. The land will produce all that. The silage comes from the land. I was sharing with a few guys, I think some of you may have seen the results of our silage that was tested. The crude protein in the silage is 17.9. Mr. Lawandi, you saw it? 17.9. It's better than a pen feeding meal that you would buy from any feed shop.
Matabeleland South Veterinary Director Ennett Mdlongwa urged farmers to prioritize animal health and proper management to produce export quality beef that commands better prices.
Well, this is a very important event, especially for livestock farmers in Matabeleland South Province. It is almost like a teaching school, where we go back and, teach people on how animals are dipped, teach people how animals are supposed to be fed, during the winter and the dry season.
But for Chiunda and other producers, quality alone isn't enough. Without pricing reforms, they warn Zimbabwe could face a decline in beef and meat quality.
But the cost of meat hasn't gone up that much. The cost of meat has simply stayed where it was. If you want to sell super, you get $4.50. Or if it has increased, it's probably increased by 50 cents. So that balance is not there. The guys who produce feed need to come together with the farmers and come up with formulas that will make it easier for farmers to produce quality meat.
The Zimbabwe Beef Industry Field Day brought together producers, animal health experts and policymakers, but farmers say it's time for the talk to translate into real pricing reforms. For ZTN Prime, I'm Andile Chuma in Bulawayo.